is up again, guys? Evergreen Fly Guy. Once again tonight. This is my second video for the night, but it will obviously you'll see them on different days. Um, we just got done doing a woolly bugger, and I had some more of these little plated jig heads left in this weird size of 1/32, and I said I want to do some more stuff with those. So I thought about it, and I came up with this little concoction, which looks pretty cool, and I think it'll fish well. It is a plated jig head with some olive marabou and a little peacock herl as the neck and a flash in the tail. And from doing bass and stuff with that dark green marabou, what am I doing? that dark green marabou, they really love that color, and they really love the flash in there. And I think that little gold head with the little black peacock herl is definitely going to set it off a lot. So it's a very simple fly, and I'm gonna get set up, and we're gonna get into it. All right, guys. First things first, you need your jig head in the vise, and then I got a little ultra thread in olive here. Since we're working with olive, it makes sense to go with an olive. And I'm just gonna start by putting some. Oh gosh, had my thread separated there for a second. Just gonna put some thread down on this hook shank. Now my last fly, I used brown thread, and I don't think that it really matters that much, but I actually just didn't realize that I forgot to change it too. I didn't realize that I had olive thread, but I do, so that's awesome. Alright, just leaving it down here. Actually, don't even need to leave it down there. I'm going to cut that tag, and I'm going to pause for just a second while I tighten my thread up here. There we go, that's a little better. We're going to put it up here at the head, kind of tight. I failed to get my thread tight earlier before beginning this, so I apologize. I'm kind of messing with it now after changing it. Now I'm going to take some of my my olive marabou here, and I'm gonna find a good looking piece. So that last one took me about 3 to do. I don't think 3 is necessary by any means. I think that's just what happened to be the number that time because I had some short pieces in there. I want to try to use medium pieces. So I got a strip that looks like about this. And now I'm going to move that back one more time because I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to catch it under, wrap up, tie that in real good, then I'm going to roll my thread back to the head there. Now, if you have hackle pliers, use the hackle pliers and grab the tip and twist it. If you're like me and you forgot to grab them, like most time videos I need hackle pliers for, I always forget them. And then you're just going to turn it around. I turn it, and then I pull the strands back out of the way. You don't have to get them perfect every time. You're going to get more as you wrap up. And I'm keeping these wraps kind of tight together because I want to get a good furl of feathers toward our back. I'm just turning up our hook shank here. Losing some pieces, but that's okay. We don't want the weak pieces in there anyway. I'm just turning it around the hook shank and pulling it back. Pull it back. And that's good right there. Walk our thread back. And I always push down on this last part just a hair to seal it in there. And it helps it kind of unfurl now that you got it connected. I'm just pushing it back. If it gets to where this previous plume, if it gets in your way while you're doing this, you can always take your fingers and wet them and stroke it back. I don't necessarily need to yet, but I'll show you guys how much it can be. Ooh, I apologize, that was too much on my fingers. But exactly, it really just gets it out of the way. Gosh, I hope that dries by the end of the video, dang. Oh, I soaked that. Didn't mean to do that. It's because I got gum in my mouth. That's probably grody to watch. That's a little bit too tight of a feather. Now, the way I'm looking at it, I'm thinking I'm only going to need 2. If I can find another good one, because some of this ain't the best. For feathers here, I think I got a piece that'll work. Yeah, it looks like this piece will work. I'm going to trim down its hard stem a little bit, get rid of some of the loose patchy stuff it's got on it. And I just do that by taking that and cleaning it out. Now at this point, I'm going to move my thread back down here on top of where the last one was at. The one I soaked up, and I'm just going to wrap in and catch this one just as well on that bottom. And tie it in real tight. Wrap back toward the head. Gosh. Oh, gosh. Oh, I really shouldn't have wet that much. That's okay. And same thing I did in the last one. I'm just pulling it around. Going up and pulling it back. Actually, let's go the opposite direction with it this time, because I think I'm losing a little bit here. There we go. Twist and pull back. Keep a hold of that tip there. Yeah, I'm thinking just 2 good ones will do you. I think the only reason I had to use 3 on the previous one was on account of the weird sized plumes I had. I'm at a loss for words tonight. It's very late for me. Now I've got that pretty up there close, so same thing I did on the last one. I'm just going to wrap back on it a little bit, because I'm situated here once again, and I'm re-wrapping this back up the top. There we go. Wrap, and push back. Wrap and push back. Simplest thing to do here. Okay, now I'm going to take and roll down on it again, just like I did with the previous one. Don't be like me just a couple seconds ago and wrap down 2. Now tight, but not too tight for the last time here. And I'm just leaving a little gap up here. Now you can just mess with this all you want. Just get it all splayed out. You know, make it messy, but still kind of organized and pulled back. See, I just pulled a bunch that was hiding up and around there by the hook, and that's going to help build that body a lot. If you wanted it to be really thick, you could use a third right here. This one doesn't look as thick because some of the fibers are wet, and they will dry out. You don't have to worry about that. They'll dry out, because I mean, it's going to get wet in the water, obviously. This is a fly that goes in the water. Now this space right here I'm leaving for 2 reasons. One is going to be our flash, which you can put this in earlier on. I did in the other one, but I didn't really think it mattered too much where it gets put in at. It's still going to go up the length of the feathers no matter what. So I'm going to do what is basically 4 strands. I've just taken 2 strands and I've bent it in half so they're about even. This is a good way to conserve, because I use this stuff for everything, so. Gosh, lost my loop here. But yeah, you just take your 2 and put it across. Don't get it tied up in your thread, because it will happen if you don't watch it, because this stuff gets all kinds of every places. I had 1 strand move just down on the body of this fly a little bit, but that's okay. You can just pick it up and put it back. Just like I said, it just jumps up and goes everywhere. Gosh. Alright. Hopefully we can get it to stay in place this time. So I get it spaced out here again. Alright, now hopefully we have a steady part of it. Gosh, there it is again, bouncing out of place. This piece is wild. Oh, I got it tight down now. It ain't going nowhere now. Alright, now that we have our 4 on there, I always take, this is how I always do with my flash pieces. I always put one to one side, set it off, then I take the other 2 on another side and set it off. And then you can stretch these pieces out. I always cut mine just a little bit shorter than the actual feather or marabou parts. And then you can leave it there till the end of the fly and stick it in, or you can kind of twist it around and play with it now and get it where you'd like it. It really doesn't matter too much. Now at this point, I'm going to grab some of my peacock herl here. Herl. Not the best at pronouncing these names. And you want a pretty good strand, pretty good long strand. And not gonna lie, Cabela's brand peacock herl, not the best. I've got some other stuff that's pretty good too, that I should be using, but I don't know why I'm not. Other than I just forgot to get it out. Now I'm gonna put it on the bottom and use my thread to grab it and tie it in real good. Just trying to get this little blue back piece in there so I know it's squished. Now I move my thread out of the way a little bit, and I just wrap this around here, right up the head. We're going to use it to make a collar, basically. You could do a dubbing collar if you wanted to for this. You could do a feather collar. Probably put some eyes on it if you wanted to. There's a lot of stuff you could do with the small gap up there. Little wire or something. But I just like to do this, build up this big, there we go. That's exactly what I was talking about. So this stuff breaks on you easy. And the last peacock herl I worked with, out of my other stuff, was a lot more durable. This, I mean, to keep it tight, you got to be careful because you will break off easy. Luckily, I didn't lose a huge piece there, so it's not like it's going to affect what I'm doing that much, but you got to watch out for it. If you're pulling too hard, it'll snap off. Oof. And then if you're too light, like I'm being, because you're afraid it's going to snap off, you wind up like losing it and it unbunching. Then it just makes it weaker. But this time we'll get it. This time's the charm. This would be another item that if you're using hackle pliers, it would be easier. But you know me, I always forget the tool I need. Okay, now I'm going to put my finger there to kind of keep it from going out on us while I lock it in place here. Alrighty, there we go. It's easy to lock it in place. And then I got a little bit of a tab over here on this side. I'm just gonna snip it right off. Now, this is it. That's pretty much it, guys. The only thing I'm gonna do is take my whip finish tool here and put a few good whip finishes on it. I think we'll do 5. I think that was 5. That was 5 or 6, something like that. My thread did get kind of wonky on that last turn, but that's okay. Now I'm going to twist in this flash. Now it will stay better in these marabou feathers if you put it in between. So the last fly I chose to do, the one I showed you guys, so I put down a plume and then I tied in those and then I put down another plume. That way you just know they're sealed in the middle real nice. And like I said, you don't have to do that. Obviously, I tied it in here in the video later in the fly. And you still have it, and it still looks nice, so it's okay. This piece is kind of twisted. I'm just going to cut it back a little bit so it's not all weird looking. Let me grab that head cement and we're gonna seal it up. Make it look all good. Just a little dab so it runs down in there on the thread but doesn't mess up the peacock. Alright guys, that has been our little jig head fly for the day. I don't know what you call it. Call it the green bug or something like that. We'll call it the green bug. That works. Little bottom bug or something. I don't know, but it just looks like bass candy to me. And I'm trying to wean my way back into a little river bass fishing because I miss wading up the rivers. But I also love trout, so it's a tough fight. Alright guys, that has been our little jig head fly with these plated jigs I picked up to mess around with. I'm dubbing it the bass bug or the green bug, something like that. Just a little jig to pop across the bottom and get their attention. I think it'll fish. It looks like a good pattern. We're gonna try it out this summer for sure. It's gonna be in the box. I know I look homeless as crap right now. It's because it's so cold down here. But that's been it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed watching. Like, subscribe, check me out on Instagram. I do a lot of cool stuff on there. Go catch some fish.